Hello, everybody. Make that thumbnail go away so you all quit throwing up in the chat.
Oh, man.
Katie's little gang of four.
Mm-mm-mm.
That woman's a hoe.
I mean,
with no taste.
you know what? You know what I don't understand? If you hate Democrats so much, why'd you sleep with one?
She worked with him.
That was married, by the way. That was married when you banged him. And Stephen Miller, the way I threw up in my mouth, I apologize to anyone in the audience right now ahead of time. But that would, like, no. I will forever have nightmares.
You mean Steve Bannon?
Mm-hmm.
Not Steve Miller.
Yeah. Well, she's got a thing for ugly Stevens, apparently, because, dear God.
She worked her way down the food chain.
Oh, Lord. Mm-mm. That's just gross. I was asking Jenny in the before we went live. I was like, how many drugs was she on? Because, like, you couldn't pay me enough to even consider being in the same room with that man, much less sleeping with him. And like, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm.
I was listening to the I've Had It podcast, and they were trying to figure out what her
kink.
No, what her origin is ancestry wise, because she looks like she probably takes that medicine to make you look tan sometimes, and her skin color is like always different.
Or she self tans, you know.
Yeah. Or she's mixed race, and
if you hate
with the
brown
Nazi
people, if you hate brown people so much, why are you trying to look like one? You know, like, I mean, just. Oh, she Hispanic? They're saying she's Latina. Well, I mean, her husband is a Jewish Nazi, so I guess it tracks.
Wouldn't it be funny if somebody called ICE on her and got her pulled over?
That would be poetic justice, truly. Oh.
Yeah, Steve Bannon.
Ugh. Now, you know that if she was sleeping with Eric Swalwell when she was an intern, that was way before Steve Bannon spent all that money to get his face fixed. That's when he was walking around looking like the Walking Dead. And she slept with him then? That's even more gross, dude. Like, all the scabs and stuff he had on his face, like, it looked like he had like herpes on his face or something, you know, like. Oh, they're saying Katie is Jewish from Florida. And then there's those allegations that she also slept with Elon Musk while she was with, I mean, girl. Ugh. Ugh.
So you got any announcements? Becca and I were just talking about, I rewatched her GT from a year ago, June, on Trump. And she was picking up on 2 deaths in the government, which I think is probably Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell. Could be Neil Dunn also, because he's been missing since June. But it was picking up some stuff further out than the Grand Tableau was supposed to go.
Yeah, I had completely forgotten about that Grand Tableau.
She's got to find her miniature cards so she can do a new GT for us. She's lost them.
Yeah. But my announcements, I found a baby squirrel. That's her right there. It was a little girl, and she's since been taken to the squirrel rescue, which is ran by this sweet, sweet, sweet little old lady. Um, and I don't know if she's widowed or divorced and never remarried. It's just a little old lady by herself, and she takes rescue squirrels. So I named her Baby Bean because she looked like a little bean. Look at that.
Look
She
at her
looked
in
like a
the
little
rose,
bean.
in a rose
Hmm.
petal.
In her little rose petal. So she's over, and you can still see the umbilical cord right there. I mean, she was new, new, new. Um, so she's at the rescue place now. So if you guys are up for sending her some healing energy for Baby Bean, that would be greatly appreciated because the little lady told me that there's a 50-50 chance that pinkies make it, you know. But she was pretty feisty because I took her to the rescue and she was rolling around and stretching and trying to nurse on my hand. So I think she'll be okay, but I'm going to keep tabs on her. But I saw a bunch of squirrels at the house, and I held another squirrel. I think he might have been maybe a month or so old because it was long and skinny and it already had fur, but you could tell that it was still
Baby.
really, yeah, still a baby. Um, so it didn't have a bushy tail, but so I just took her to the rescue yesterday. So send healing energy to little Baby Bean
It was
because I mean,
interesting because
isn't
I was Googling like how do you feed a baby squirrel, and it said that you can't feed them when they're cold. You have to warm them up
yep.
because they can't digest food, and you can't
Mm-hmm.
give them cow milk. It kills them. You have to
Yep.
get the dog
Formula.
baby milk.
So when she went to the rescue yesterday, when I went inside the house, the lady had an entire incubator full of little pinkies like Baby Bean. She must have
Oh,
had at least 30 of them of all different sizes. Baby Bean was the smallest and the newest newborn in there. But she had a whole entire incubator with them. And
used to dealing with them.
yeah, yeah, she had a whole bunch of squirrels in the house that are getting ready to be released back into the wild. And I got to meet them, and they're just the cutest thing. If I can find the contact info, because she's a little old lady, she runs the operation all by herself, so it's not something from the state or the city. So if I can find her contact info, I don't have Facebook, but I think that's where she's at. I'll try to find it and post it on my community post if anybody,
Wants to
would
donate.
like to wants to donate. Because she does everything. She pays for the incubation. So that's on her electric bill. For the formula that she gives them. When I went to her house, she had on her kitchen counter, she had just a slew of little syringes full of formula for the babies that were in the incubator. So I think she was doing a great thing, and it keeps her very happy. So yeah, that's my story. And Braxy was really cool with the baby. She was sniffing her and licked her very, very gently and was whining like, "Why can't it play, Mom?"
Yeah.
So yeah.
If if she doesn't have a way to donate to her, Becca, somebody's suggesting in the chat, ask her if she can create an Amazon wish list.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Stephanie. I'll do that because I'm gonna keep tabs on Baby Bean because I am emotionally invested. She was just so goddamn cute. So
I've
wishing her the
rescued
best.
I've rescued kittens before and bottle fed them, so I know
Hmm.
how it is with kittens, but I wouldn't dare take on a squirrel. I don't know all the ins and outs.
Yeah, I don't either. And you know, just and when they're newborns like that, that's around the clock work for
Yeah.
any animal
every
that's a newborn. That's
every two
around the
hours, got to
clock.
feed them.
Uh-huh. So Braxy's here. She's sleeping on the bed with her little baby Yoda. Um, but she was really, really good with the baby squirrel. More curious than anything. And then she babysat her in the car while I was driving. So Braxy did a very good job. But yeah, so that's all I have. I'm ready for more adventures with animals because that was super cool. That was super, super cool. So, and then I've
Becca's
been
going to end up
watching
with a
this.
rescue center eventually.
I've been watching, there's a nest close by here, and it's got osprey in it. And when I first drove by, I thought it was an eagle because I didn't realize osprey were that freaking huge. Like, huge. There's two baby ospreys in there. So every time that I drive by that area, I'm always looking for the babies, and they're getting pretty big. So yeah, I like the animals. They make me happy. So
Johnny, you got anything going on?
Not a thing.
Other than had another great live the other night. I caught it later.
Not anything.
And I also rewatched Mitch McConnell reading you did 7 years ago where you lost it for about 10 minutes laughing. It's still funny. I have to rewatch that one at least once a year. It was funny because Johnny kept pulling his glasses off and throwing them on the table. And Beth Cat and I created a drinking game. Every time Johnny throws his glasses off, you have to take a shot. And I was like, man, you'd be snockered by the end of that video. You kept pulling them off.
yeah.
Well, I have readings available in August and September. If you'd like to schedule a reading with me, JenLynTarot.com. Check your junk email folder for confirmations if you don't see it in your inbox. Confirmations are automatic. The reading times show in your time zone, wherever your computer is. So when you're booking the appointment, it's in your time zone. I see it on my schedule in my time zone. It converts it for me.
For the person in the chat that was asking what happened to the mama squirrel, I have no idea because the baby was at the bottom of a tree by a huge boulder. So I'm thinking
Fell out of the
she
nest.
fell out of the nest, and it's a big ass tree, like a big ass tree. So I feel really, really, really bad for the mom who's probably losing her mind about where her babies are at, but there's wildlife here, birds of prey. So, I think Baby Bean's in a safe place, instead of
Better,
letting nature run its course,
better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
I bottle fed 4 little kittens with a neighbor of mine I had at one time when I was living in Alabama. I was living in Birmingham, and she was having a sunroom built onto her house. And the construction guy showed up, and he worked all the time whenever the weather was good. So he'd show up on Saturdays and stuff. And so I happened to be at home and out in the yard talking with her. And he said, "I'll be right back." He went to the back of his truck to get his tools out. And he looked kind of puzzled, and he said, "I'll be right back. Somebody has dumped 4 little kittens in the back of my truck. I'm going to take them over to the shelter and see if they can take them." And we were like, wait, and went running over there. 4 little kittens, didn't even have their eyes open, dropped in the back of his truck together. And she was a retired school teacher, so she would bottle feed them during the day while I was at work. And then I would take them at night and bottle feed them every 2 hours, set my alarm and get up every 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I kept 2 and she kept 2. And that was my Pilar and Pele. that I had
Hmm.
for
I had a
years.
boss way back in the day, right after I got out of the Navy and I was working as a civil servant. And my boss, her cat ended up having an entire litter of kittens. And the mom didn't want anything to do with the babies at all. I don't know
No,
what happened, but the mom rejected the babies. So my boss brought every day, she would bring in the whole box full of babies, and her and I would sit there and bottle feed those babies. I'd be at my desk taking phone calls, working on my computer with the baby nursing on a bottle, and it was the best time of my life. I loved going to
yes.
work because I was bottle feeding babies. It was great. There was one baby I nicknamed Pigpen because he was always so dirty, but he was big and fat. He was like the biggest, fattest one, and he was always so, so, so dirty and stinky. So I named him Pigpen. But yeah, I got him every single time to feed because he was
The
my
bottle
favorite.
the bottle fed ones a lot of times are much more lap cats. They're much
Hmm.
more lovey dovey because they're used to being handled, from little
Yeah.
bitty. So Pilar was, she would nurse on my earlobe every night when I would go to bed. She would lay right here and nurse on my earlobe. I'd wake up, my
Oh,
earlobe would be all red.
yeah, yeah.
Even
There's
as an
just
adult, she would do that.
there's just something really special about caring for itty bitty little babies.
Yeah. Well,
So,
speaking of little babies, are any of Katie Miller's kids Stephen Miller's?
or Eric Swalwell's.
I want to know, are they Stephen Miller's? Um, if you saw the interview with Don Lemon and Hunter Biden, Hunter couldn't say, things for sure. As Don was questioning him, he said, "Are you asking me if Stephen Miller is gay?" I can't say. Like he knew how to cover himself from
Hmm.
defamation. But he was alluding to that Stephen Miller, Josh Hawley, Lindsey Graham, and Mike Johnson are all gay. So, if Stephen's gay, are any of those children his?
I get yes. At least one. Major cups, 10 of cups, 6 of wands. Yes.
I get one that was, yeah, there was a gift, joy, something false or a betrayal that gets exposed. Yeah. I bet you all them kids have different baby daddies and they ain't none from Stephen Miller. So we're looking at Elon Musk, Eric Swalwell, Stephen Miller,
Stephen Bannon.
Steve Bannon.
Yeah, she's a hookup girl. Like I get the chef three now. Is that how many kids she has?
Yeah.
I get one of the three is his, but could have been offered up in a cup, so it could be a sperm donation sort of thing.
Mm-mm-mm.
um, but like, not all of them. I get there's others that she's connected with that she has
Mm-mm-mm.
harvested
It's got
babies
more than
from.
one.
She's got more than one. She has four. She has
I only
four.
get
Okay,
one.
so
I
one
don't
of the
get.
four.
I don't get all. I get one. The rest, the 10 of cups is not blood relation. The 10 of pentacles is your blood relation because that's your family tree. This is like your self-made family, so adopt it, or there's somebody else's kids that just don't live with you. But one of them is his, and if she's got multiples, they're other people's, I think.
For the person asking how did Bannon end up in this story, so apparently there was some paperwork that came out that reporters got a hold of, and it's been verified by journalists that Katie Miller was having an affair with Eric Swalwell when she was an intern. And in those same documents, it was also revealed that she had been with Steve Bannon. That's how he ended up in this story.
It was all reported by the Daily Beast, so you want to read up on the story. So, who's the bigger hoe, HOTUS or Katie? HOTUS being FLOTUS. Could be Bobert. You know, nothing wrong with having multiple partners, consenting adults, but don't preach to me about family values.
In this case, there's something wrong with it because it's not too far off from Hollywood to where if you want to get ahead, then you sleep with everybody that offers you to get one position or one step further than the rest of them.
Johnny, can you turn your volume up just a little bit?
Probably, but I don't. Well, let's try.
We've been having a little bit of echo problem again in the pre-show, guys. And for those in the chat, we take our questions on our community tabs. Usually we post on Saturday for questions for Sunday night. It's stormy here, so my cards are a little sticky.
Lotus is the first lady. So Melania.
Been passed around more.
I would say Melania Trump is more discreet, perhaps, and her circles are people that are not public. Do you see what I'm saying? Her conversations and all that stuff is murky. Yeah, now I'm echoing. So with Melania, I would say, even though I don't have money cards here, I would say that she's more intentional on what she desires, whereas Katie is more attention seeking and trying to get not just attention but affection, generosity, if that makes sense. So it's a matter of perspective. Melania Trump does it more because it's self-serving to her end goal of money, 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 money. Katie Miller does it more from an attention-seeking place. So I would go with Katie Miller as the bigger hoe.
That's exactly what I had on the bottom. It's perspective.
They're both hoes, but Katie Miller does it more from a place of lack and wanting love and care and attention. Melania Trump does it more from a place of, what can I get out of you, sort of thing, you know?
Who you getting, Johnny?
I don't know. I'm going to say Katie, only because I think Melania is retired. And so Katie has more ground ahead of her, but it's all for the same thing. They want power and success. This isn't like someone multiple partners searching for love type of thing. No, this is to get ahead.
I'm kind of torn because it's perspectives, because one is very clingy to one has a little more power. I would say that's Hodis, probably has a little bit more power. It's a 50-50. It's like, depends. One of them doesn't have temperance, so hot
And
to try.
here's the thing, Melania Trump, I'm sure, had to get on some sort of tranquilizer to sleep with Donald Trump. But I don't see her going anywhere near Steve Bannon. That's, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we all know she was passed around like a joint at a frat party with Epstein. We know that. But I don't think she'd ever stoop as low as freaking Steve Bannon, you know?
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting. The one that's got strength with the dead man that's related to her husband, that had a relationship with her husband, that worked with her husband. Their collusion there, maybe even grossly a threesome.
Ew.
So I'm kind of leaning towards Hodis. Because she knew how to go after men with money. She knew how to be a little bit discerning. At least she got money out of it.
Mm-hmm.
All Katie got was a vampire,
Ugh.
Nazi, and a scabby face old dude that had a drug problem. So Trump had a new wig on the other day. Did y'all see it?
Oh my God. Can I share something with the class? Because let me tell you, the internet is so unhinged. Okay? Look, they made a whole skit. And I'm going to keep the volume down because there's music. But they're talking about his hair. Look what they did to him with.
The memes have been hysterical.
They have him like a QVC model with his hair and a wig. And then there's look at this one. Have you seen this one?
He looks like his mom.
Uh-huh. Look at that hair.
that's his mom's hairstyle.
And then they did it to Barron Trump too. And there's Trump.
That's a shame.
Like, we've all seen the bald patches. Just admit it. You're bald. Go with it. His dad was going bald at old age. So
Listen, can you believe that yam pit, orange face, bald headed, wig wearing man had the audacity to talk crap about John Ossoff and how he looks?
like, he always talks crap about how other people look.
What's wrong with John
shut up.
Ossoff's look?
John Ossoff looks like he could be on the cover of GQ. All right? And this man is.
He's jealous.
I'm trying to get rid of the echo, and I don't know what's going on over here. Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Did you unplug your thing?
I'm going to remove you and pop you back in, Becca. Let's see if that helps. Did that help?
Now you're echoing. Can you hear me? And no echo.
No echo because I put mute on my mic. Okay, say something now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. And no echo.
Okay.
So, Trump's new wig. He thinks he looks great, I'm sure. And they showed him walking around at the golf course the other day, and he's all slumped over, and he's got his pants up to here, and flabby. There's no muscle tone to him. He just looks like gross. Had his hat on, so he didn't have his new wig on. But what does he think he's still attractive? I don't personally think he was ever attractive, so don't get me wrong. But he always thought he was hot when he was younger. Does he still see himself that way? Is that the problem with this dementia?
Yes. Yes. He lies to himself, but the problem is other people do too. And and mind you, his supporters, he's a big strong guy, or he's a big tough guy, or he's a big this guy, or yes, they always have filled his little ego with he's pretty and he's cute and he's tough and he's strong.
Johnny, he's 245 pounds, 6'4", the best, healthiest president ever that we have ever had and that we will ever have. Mind you, he's got yam tits hanging down to his cankles, but the healthiest man you'll ever see.
Mm-hmm.
Does he think he's attractive? Yes, but there's attention to what he's losing. His hair, dude, if you're worried about how fat you are, get on Ozempic and stop eating freaking McDonald's. But don't listen to me. Don't go eat that lettuce all you want. Go drink some unpasteurized milk. Do all that stuff. Get RFK Jr. to give you all the health tips. Yes, he looks in the mirror and he is beyond delusional. I bet you somebody in the White House put one of those funhouse mirrors in his office, instead where he looks super skinny. I bet you they did that.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did that. Yeah, he runs a loop in his own head. Like, he moves on from any change in appearance. He doesn't see it. He sees what's in the past when he looks at a mirror. So, yeah, he lies to himself all the time, and he surrounds himself with people that work for him that are going to lie to him, also flatter him, lie to him. The only thing you can't say is anything that's a betrayal, if you're not loyal. So if you don't lie to him, thank you, Cindy. If you don't lie to him, he sees it as a betrayal. So while we're on Trump, what's that girl's name? Hang on. Natalie Hart. Her brother, who lives down in Nicaragua or somewhere, her brother thinks her relationship with Trump is unhealthy. Thank you, Rose. Is Natalie Hart mentally ill?
Yes. She's got the crush on Trump. This is her right now. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's the one that, the human printer that walks around and leaves him love notes everywhere. How wonderful he is. I only think of you, and supposedly Melania's caught them together a couple of times in the White House. But an unhealthy relationship to me would imply he thinks his sister's nuts.
First card is the devil, so I probably don't need any more than that, but I'll draw anyway.
Devil in a dress?
It's a mushroom dress at that.
Oh, she's taking shrooms.
She's taking something. Okay. Well, 3 cards in, and still think I need to. That's all I needed. There's the devil, there's the 6 of swords, and then there's the 5 of wands. Might be a little obsessive. There's something going on in there. 8 of pentacles, page of wands, 5 of pentacles, queen of pentacles, the fool. I would say so because it's obsessive. This is not just a crush. I don't know if, because here's the thing too, I want to make clear. Having like a daddy issue or something like that to where she clings to him because of that, that's different than what the devil would represent. She could get like a hermit or a 9 of swords or temperance where she needs some sort of therapy or healing. This is a different thing. This is with the 5 of pentacles would tell me somebody need to go see about her type of thing, because she's not well and she ain't right.
I don't know how much more clear this can be. The rider, the tree, the cross. She ain't well. Rider, news, feedback, a visitor. Tree is your health. Cross is suffering. She ain't well. That woman, besides a psych eval, I would say run some MRIs or something, because she ain't right in the head, dude. She ain't right. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going to agree with that. She should be committed somewhere. Her lifestyle that she shares with Trump, moving in with him and everything. She's like too pleasing, drama queen, also trying to bond with him. Knows how to manipulate him. Strength on manipulation. Even though it's a job and she works for him, but she's way too emotional about him. Way too. So she's got issues.
I mean, you'd have to be. If that's the object of your affection, you'd have to be. Yes.
She should look up Steve Bannon. I hear he's available.
All I can say is, bleh. That's it.
These poor women, they can't do better. So Lisa Cook, who's in our Federal Reserve, Trump wants to remove her, claims that she's committing mortgage fraud. But basically, he wants to take over the central bank for America. He would love for us to be on like cyber coins and all that other crap. Will he succeed in taking over our central bank?
I get no, at least for now. There's the King of Swords, so there'd be your Donald Trump. The 5 of Wands and the 8 of Swords. So there is a what's the word? not sequester, but there's a limiting of his power and authority with the Eight of Swords. Tarot, the mystical moment. Oh.
Will he be successful? No, but there's going to be results either through an investigation, research, investigative journaling, whatever it is. You're going to see a report of all the secret chronic abuses that he has been trying to commit. And I don't know why you want to take over the central bank. You've already looted the fucking treasury. Pardon my French. You know, and you're doing it in broad daylight. And the Republicans are saying there's nothing we can do to rein him in. Yeah, it's called impeachment, conviction, removal. It's that easy. The instructions are written in the Constitution. Would you like me to read them for you? You know, is he going to take over? No, but there's going to be a report of everything that's been going on that is secret that we don't know about just yet. And it's abusive and chronic. So that's all I got.
That's interesting because I'm getting, because Republicans are in on this too. I'm getting something about an investigation in time too. He'll be blocked from taking over the central bank. He won't be able to do it and change things. But the investigation is going to be into a lot of the lies and things they've changed and deals they've made and how they've moved money around. So God knows where all the money is. The woman may lose her job. He may succeed in that, but I don't think he'll succeed in taking over the central bank.
I don't know if you have this on your questions, Jenny. I just saw the report that JP Morgan Chase and a few other banks had shut down his credit cards and a whole bunch of his accounts back in
almost 400 accounts they shut down.
2021 when he was a private citizen for suspicions of money laundering. Why the F was nothing done about that? That's all I want to know.
Shame on these banks for not reporting him, that they kept it quiet all this time. Shame on them for not reporting him to like DOJ or somebody to investigate for fraud if they suspected money laundering.
So make it make sense because I don't get it.
Well, let's see. Billy Bob Mark Wayne Mullins wants to stop international flights from going into blue cities like New York, Chicago, and LA, which are equipped with international airports and customs and all the security and everything that you need for an international airport, as well as all the the size of the airplanes and everything else. If he stopped flights into blue cities, all the people that would lose jobs, flight attendants, everybody, that fly out of those major hubs. One of my neighbors flies on United on a flight back and forth to London. It's international. So if they weren't allowed to fly in here to O'Hare, she would lose her job. Will he be successful in trying to stop international flights into blue cities? Stupidest thing that Billy Bob Mark Wayne Mullins has come up with yet.
My question is, stop giving them their goddamn tax dollars. California is the fifth largest economy. No, the fourth. I'm sorry. The fourth largest economy in the globe. Don't send them a freaking penny. Period. End of.
We're going to read that on that in a minute because they're also not getting funding from the federal government, the blue states.
No, it cannot. First of all, It would be a bigger issue than he could ever handle. But Wheel of Fortune in the Tower, no, this would be beyond a disaster. And it would be on him, which means it would be on Trump, which means he would put it back on him. So, no, very big disaster.
Is he going to do it? No, this is all performative in theater. Man with the Moon, someone that is, it's theater. It's a lot of theater. A lot of theater. And by all means, if you want to go there, go there. We'll see how quickly that gets shut down in court. Because of the nightmare, like you just said, Jenny, of all the problems that it would cause. You've already crashed the economy. We're just waiting for the powers that be to tell us, oh yeah, he crashed the economy. They're not saying that because the stock market is doing great, you know, but this is performative for an audience of one, theater. Look over here, don't pay any attention to the Epstein files and the war, and that you can't afford your groceries, and come after midterms you're not going to be able to afford your medical, and don't pay attention to that. We're going to stop flying people to blue states. Pay attention to this. No, it's not going to happen.
So weird. I get it's a manipulation too, but I also get he was paid to say this. He's doing it for Trump and Trump supporters to try to look like he's attacking blue states. But I also get he was paid to say it. So whether it's creating chaos, no, this would be burning a bridge. But there are partnerships here that are corrupt. So I don't know what the end game was he was trying to accomplish other than, besides messaging. But no, he would get blocked. This would end. He would get blocked. But there's something else about this. Why he's doing it. It's more than just a message he's trying to send.
Maybe it's another way to manipulate the market.
That's what I'm thinking. It's another
market manipulation.
There you go. So Jeanine Pirro had to drop her case against David Hearn on the reflecting pool, but apparently they did it in a way that they can bring it back later. I want to know if they're going to go after David Hearn again. And then we're going to look at Jeanine Pirro. All made up bullshit. We all saw on the cameras who messed up the reflecting pool. Trump. For entertainment purposes only, we have an idiot as the president.
To placate, to satisfy the weird one in the office, there could be some sort of attempt to do so, because it starts with the Five of Swords and the Strength card, to where they could be the bully, and they have the bully pulpit, and they are part of the justice system, and blah, 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 blah. So there's a bunch of advantage that they do have. However, the thing that you don't have, which she knew they didn't have, is any evidence. And so the Ace of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles is just not there. With the last card is the Devil and the Hierophant. You would basically have to just make it up and see what happens. But if he has a lawyer that didn't get his degree from the back of a Rice Krispie packet, then he should be fine. So,
what the interesting thing is, though, in court documents, Jeanine Pirro admitted that guy, David Hearn, did nothing wrong, and it was due to a faulty installation in the reflecting pool. She took full responsibility. Basically said, yeah, we just made all this up. So they would have to make something up to go after him for, because this right here says that they move away from that. They move away from it. An opportunity, there's trouble and a lie here, and then they depart from it. So maybe they find another scapegoat, you know. But I get that they move away from that.
It's interesting because I get their scheming. So it's caused by the government contractor, right? We know that, but I get they may plant some evidence, make it look like change evidence somehow to burden David. I do think in time, right now they're going to lay low on it, but I do think in time they'll go after him again. It won't work. As long as Trump keeps saying you got to go after him, you got to go after him. Let's just hope that somebody goes into the netherworlds before they get a chance to bring it up again. So, what's Jeanine Pirro's future look like with Trump? He is pissed at her.
She's going to kiss the boots, the 9 of Cups, and the 5 of Swords. She was a Fox News host, and now she's in the administration. She didn't want to go back from that, so she's going to do what he wants her to do, and then the 9 of Wands in the Chariot. So she'll have to try to find a way to make him look elsewhere, make him pay attention to something else, but she's going to be under immense pressure to try to do what he wants while at the same time not look like a complete fool in front of everybody. But she'll be fine because she'll take the abuse. Just like all the rest of them. It's not really worth it, but, what do I know?
You know what doesn't make sense to me with any of this, Johnny? Jeanine Pirro, a sycophant, yes. A faux noise, talking head, yes. What MAGA and Trump are too stupid to realize is that woman went to law school. That woman took an oath as a judge. Now, Trump has bastardized judgeship. I mean, look no further than Aileen Cannon, who's not even qualified to run as dog catcher, but somehow she's sitting behind the bench. Case in point being, Jeanine Pirro, if I'm correct on this, wasn't she also a prosecutor at one point? Wasn't she a prosecutor before she became a judge?
I don't recall. Do you guys know in the chat?
But either way, she knows that she know what the law is.
Oh, she had her own TV court show. They're saying in the chat.
Yeah, I saw that, but outside of television, that woman went to law school. She was appointed, whatever, but she knows what the law is. What I get here is that she's going to get put on notice one way, shape, or form by an institution. These are the boundaries that you have promised to work within. The towers, the institutions, and boundaries. There's the promise. You are tied to working within these parameters as dictated by law. You are skirting very, very, very close to the edge, and you're going to be in trouble because there's a lie, and it's lies that are routine. So she's going to be faced with the choice, with the crossroads here. Keep doing this for show, and you're the one that's going to be left holding the bag for your loyalty, or choose to work within the boundaries of the law. But the way that this spread is saying, it's yes, she's presented with that. So maybe she gets severely spanked by a judge or several judges because she keeps bringing up bullshit to appease the boss. And even when she's warned, she continues to be a bootlicker and a people pleaser to for an audience of one.
So, in other words, we'll see her drinking get worse.
What I would say is she's walking on thin ice when it comes to the law, but she'll continue to be a bootlicker. That's what I get.
Yeah, because I get this as a tower moment for her. She's out of the inner circle. She's not in the inner circle anymore. So, everything they get her to agree to is decided by other people. Like, you will do this and you will do this. So this is going to come up again and again, this treachery. Here's Trump and Todd Blanche. I don't think Todd Blanche likes her at all. So it wouldn't surprise me if he puts her on some kind of smaller job, so to speak, or forces her to plant some evidence or something. I think he's got it in for her, so he'll set her up to be a scapegoat. She's not going to stay in the government forever. This is a tower moment, and it's endings for her. So Justice Alito announced today that he will not retire. Why will he not retire? The Republicans have the power right now if they wanted to replace him quick before the elections. Is it because so many of them are missing in action out of Congress? They don't have the votes. Why will Justice Alito not be retiring?
Can't. Got the Hierophant, the Five of Pentacles, and the Death. There is government there, or his position. Five of Pentacles would be him like thrown out, not walking away. And then there's a death or a major change, and then the Ten of Cups. It's like someone pulls that string, not you. Maybe he was reminded of that, but he can't. But it's up to this, the Ten of Cups, though. It's not up to him, because this is not, the Five of Pentacles is not walking away. It's being pushed out or thrown out or exiled. So, but this is not his time to do such a thing, I guess. Someone changed his plans for him.
Why is he not retiring? There's business that will be before the courts that he has to block or take away. That's all I'm going to say. It may have something to do with the womb and reproduction, but it's coming from the White House. They're bringing something there that he has to block, and then he has to take away from this. So
cases that haven't come up yet.
Yeah.
Interesting, because Todd Blanche and JD supposedly want to make abortion illegal federally, nationwide.
No, not just Todd Blanche and JD Vance. No. That's also Trump. He just said it a few days ago, a national abortion ban. So much for states' rights, huh? I am very curious to see how the Supreme Court is going to twist themselves into a pretzel yet again. Because the first time they twisted themselves into a pretzel, states' rights. Now you're going to let the federal government come in and tell women they can't have health care? What are you going to make up to justify it this other time around? That's what I'm curious to see.
Yeah, I'm getting the same thing you guys are getting. He's paid to be there for Trump. He's corrupt, and for the Republicans, he's got work to do for the Republicans. So he changed his mind about retiring, and he's got things to do with this could be with children. So it could be abortion rights, it could be Epstein files, something maybe that may come up. He's not allowed to leave. But he may stay there, like even after Trump goes, after Trump transitions and we have a new leader, he may go then. So let's ask that. Are they going to be able to federally outlaw abortion rights?
Yes, but there might be Knight of Cups, Seven of Wands, Four of Cups. There might be some little caveat or some asterisks with it, but it goes in that direction then.
Oh,
You're
sorry,
muted,
I didn't realize. I get that this is more of a wish list and an order coming from the executive that is squatting in the White House and the sycophants around him, the bootlickers around him.
Yeah,
But then again,
like Voight.
like Voight and what's his face that ran off to Argentina? What's his name? Peter Thiel and stuff. Peter Thiel, an open homosexual, thinks he has any goddamn right to tell a woman what they can and cannot do with their own body, is the height of freaking hypocrisy. Period. But it's on the wish list. It's something that he wants to do. He might try to do an executive order because this is something from the executive to try to do that. However, bring it back to the Supreme Court ruling, states' rights. Like I said, I would love to see how the Supreme Court is going to argue one point out of both sides of their mouths when they said states' rights, and now the government comes in and says, no, we want this nationwide. How are you going to do that when you already argued that it's the state, not the federal government? Do you see what I'm saying? So he might try to do it via executive order or something, but it's on the wish list, but I don't see it happening because the states are the ones with the authority and the final say.
Just in time for the midterms, they start slamming all the really bad stuff. Let's cut Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and abortion rights. It's a power play, trying to take choice away. They're going to look into all the options with that, like how they can take this through the courts, bring it back to the courts again. In secret, they're supporting this, but I don't think the power of the courts, and for me, it's the lower courts. The power of the lower courts will protect the rights. If it rises up, this is going to create a lot of chaos. So, if the lower courts protect the rights and it moves up to a higher court, there's a lot of money behind this. So I think it will rise to the higher court eventually again. I don't. I
And like
get
I said,
we hang on to our rights, so I don't think it'll
and like
go anywhere.
and like I said, once it makes it all the way up to the Supreme Court, I am all ears to see how they're going to wiggle themselves out of it. So and that's another thing. The Republicans and these Christian nationalists think the birth rates are low now. Wait till you try to mandate a full nationwide federal abortion ban. Because not only will women stop spreading their legs, whether you're married or not, but watch how many men who are siding with women will willingly walk into doctor's office and ask for a snip to do their part out of protest to stand with women. If they think the birth rates are low now, you just wait. And yeah, correct. Women can't have abortion rights, but hey, we can go out and rape little girls.
Yeah,
That's totally
we can
fine.
be pedophiles all over the country and never get charged.
Hmm.
So Rand Paul sent a letter to DOJ without taking it through a Senate vote, and it has to have a 60-40 vote in the Senate, to hold Fauci in contempt of Congress for pleading the fifth, over 100 times. Will DOJ prosecute Fauci? So they've thrown out all the rules in the Senate, just like Trump throws out all the rules. Rand Paul sent it directly to DOJ without any clearance through the Senate.
They'll try. It starts with justice. So there's some sort of case they want. In the past position, the Four of Pentacles, they just need a scapegoat. They want someone to have to go after. They don't like him in the first place. It's like Comey and Letitia James. They have to find something. And the guy from California, they gotta have something. And so this is going to keep going around and around. They're going to keep talking about it or keep bringing it up. I don't see any convictions or anything of that nature, but there is a lot of filings and court documents and paperwork and paying for this and paying for that. So they're going to keep going, but I don't think he's in any real danger. This is theater, basically.
Hmm. Funny how we're bringing up hoax, a hoax from
Yep.
6 years ago back into the spotlight.
All these people that have been screaming at Fauci in the hearings all were vaccinated so they could go to parties and functions and everything. They all followed his guidance because they knew putting bleach up their arm wasn't the right thing to handle COVID.
And also with that reporting where we all found out that Katie Miller was boinking Steve Bannon and Eric Swalwell, it was also revealed the numerous emails that she exchanged with Fauci on how to stay protected because she was pregnant at the time. Like Johnny said, they're just trying to find another scapegoat because the economy is in the shit, the job market is in the shit, oil prices are through the roof. It's a huge problem. This right here says if there is a prosecution, is going to be riddled with problems and lies. Another way to interpret this, to what I was getting at, a lot of suffering because the economy is doing very, very bad. So look over here. Let's entertain you with this over here. Let's go drag another person that did nothing but try to protect the public and flay him for less than a third of this country while we continue to pocket the money because these people are on the verge of bankruptcy and they're doing so poorly. You can't eat the meat, you can't eat the tuna, you can't drink the water, you can't breathe the air, you can't pump the gas,
You can't get a job.
you can't get a job, trade shit, you never
Can't
got
get health insurance.
can't get health insurance pretty soon, right after the midterms, that's when that kicks in. Cut food stamps, cut SNAP, cut health disability, cut a whole bunch of shit. They have created a huge problem. So hey, let's prosecute this person based on bullshit and lies so that you look over here and you don't notice that when you used to pay $25 to fill up your tank, you're paying 86 now. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere. It's show.
Yeah. It's like all the money they made off this, yeah, they will legally try to do a surprise prosecution of some kind. It's a gaslighting, it's cover up. So I get, yes, they will prosecute, but it's all lies. It's going to burden Congress because they're going to lose this in court. All the evidence, they're going to lose this. So it goes nowhere. They have to move on from it. It's not going to hold up in a court.
And here's another thing. All of those clowns that are sitting there just doing what they're doing, knowing somewhere in their head that what they're doing is absolutely wrong. They are not vaccine deniers. They are not medical deniers. They are not fact deniers. However, they're doing it for showing their own political gain. How many of those people were insider trading during the entire pandemic?
Or getting government assistance during COVID. Look at how many of them got COVID money and never paid it back.
Just please answer me that out of curiosity. Because from where I'm sitting, I'm seeing that you really benefited from it,
So Becca brought up this question in the pre-show, and I think it's a great one. But pardon us, we don't know how to pronounce the Democrat's last name, so I'm going to butcher this. Gina Hinojosa. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know how to pronounce it either.
In Texas is within 1 point of Greg Abbott in the polls. 1 point. Is she going to beat Greg Abbott in the midterms? If somebody can spell it phonetically in the chat to help us pronounce it.
As in the governor?
Yeah, for governor. Gina, Hinojosa. Hinojosa. It's Hispanic, so the J sounds like an H, so Hinojosa. Hinojosa. Am I closer? Hinojosa. Thank you, Rose Blue. Hinojosa.
I don't think so, but try anyway. You never know. Cards don't know everything. They know everything right now, so try it anyway.
I get that there's a swift and sudden loss. However, there's a swift and sudden loss because of cheating and stealing, cutting people out. So, mind you, we have the convicted ass J-hole over there, crooked eye, what's his name, Ken Paxton, on record saying, thank God I kicked out millions of voters off the rolls or Biden would have won the state. He loses, but he steals it, if that makes sense.
Like Trump. Because they've got, she does win. She does win, but in secret, they're going to make it look like she loses. So they're going to change the votes. A lot of them. This is also change, like taking an action to change. So like hacking the vote. This is Republicans working together to hang on to their jobs. So let's ask, will Ken Paxton win against what's his name? Oh, I can't think of his name. Telly something or other. Hinojosa. Tellerico. Thank you. I had a brain fart. They're going to rig him in because he's getting horrible press about all his properties he owns on a limited salary.
Does he win? I think so. Yes, the Nine of Cups and the Lovers, first card, last card. Find support from somewhere.
What did you get that Ken Paxton would win?
Yes.
That's what I get, because I asked, will Ken Paxton win the Senate? I get that it is gifted to him by something to do with the media or marketing, but it's very, 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 very small. So again, that's all I got.
It's through corruption. Somebody takes an action to get him support because he really loses. I get. So yes, he will win, but it's through corrupt means. He may even try to block like court action and stuff on like recounts and things. Nothing to see here.
You know what? I know this isn't part of your questions for tonight, so it's just me pontificating. I'm just curious to know what the F would happen if it is ever revealed to the extent that Republicans have been cheating and subverting the will of the people to remain in power. Because if it was me, I would be beyond livid and blue. I'm not talking to the extent of advocating for a January 6th type situation. But what I'm saying is when you put these people that the public has entrusted for you to represent, and you have been subverting their will, if these people don't get put under the jail, I'm sorry, but the system is broken at that point. You know?
I'm surprised we haven't gotten like Romania, where people are just marching in the streets like crazy, and it may take an election like this where they're rigging it again to see it to that level, like in Texas. There's, where Elon is, opening data centers all over Texas, and where his home base is now. He's got to control who's the governor of Texas, of course.
And again, that comes down to, not in this case, Elon Musk is not a public official. He was not entrusted by the public. He's just a rich millionaire that's high on ketamine and a whole bunch of other drugs.
That came here illegally.
And he himself is subverting the will of the people.
And what's crazy is like Tellerico's way up in the polls. Paxton is way, way, way down. So will we see a significant revolt in Texas? Let's ask that. Will we see people, if they rig the election, will we see a significant revolt?
No, but, well, maybe not in the way my brain pictures the word revolt happening, to where people demand things. Because the first card is temperance. That's not a revolt. That's let's figure this out type of thing, because it ends in the Ace of Swords. And so this is more, let's get information, let's do that type of thing. I only pulled 3 cards. I don't see anything about prosecutions or court dates or anything like that, but we'll see.
I don't see a revolt so much as a joining of community. So I have sat here and watched videos upon videos upon videos of previous Republican Attorney General in the state of Texas holding a rally, just taking the belt to Paxton about what a corrupt person he is and how he has taken his position of public office to enrich himself and do all sorts of illegal stuff. So people within his own party don't like him. Okay? I don't see.
Well, they impeached him. They just didn't remove him.
They impeached him and they didn't remove him because people in the Senate got bought and paid to not do so. Okay? So what I see here is a joining of people in the community and people in the communities coming together. So Republicans that realize how effed up the party is and how full of extremists and corrupt people there is, joining in with the other side of the aisle in unison. That's what I'm seeing. Maybe protests, maybe large gatherings, maybe huge rallies, this, that, and the other thing, but I do not see revolt. There's no violence. It's just large groups of people coming together to try to make things better, if that makes sense.
Sad. It's sad. There's indecision here. Like they won't know what to do. The chaos and feeling left out. They're trying to take it in and sharing information, trying to figure out what to do. As the people of Texas, all the constituents. So there might be a return to the votes through the courts, but they've rigged the courts in Texas, so that's not going to go anywhere. And there's an abundance that goes missing. Tossed ballots, right? So I just get feeling stuck and burdened and trying to seek answers and can't seem to get anywhere.
And Ken Paxton, who just authorized law enforcement in the state of Texas to burn through millions of public funds to trace down one woman who they suspected had gone out of state to get an abortion, was just caught at another event with another woman that ain't his girlfriend and ain't his wife. Okay, so just
I thought he divorced his wife.
Well, he was with another woman that wasn't the mistress, a new one. That man.
I really feel like, they're going to try to do what they did in 2024, and Elon Musk is going to be involved. But I really feel like in a lot of the blue states, they know what's coming, and even the borderline states, like they'll protect it a little bit, hand recount if they have to. Texas is another animal because you got two corrupt people very high up in the office there.
But so, I understand that, Jenny, but let's not forget that in their effort to remain in power, they gerrymandered themselves into a hole. Remember, they just gerrymandered Texas a few months ago to where they cut into where they can potentially lose 5 seats, because they're going off of numbers from the old census. The Republican Party has lost all support within the Hispanic community because of what this jackass and that racist Nazi have been doing to Hispanics. So they redistricted all of Texas based on numbers that are not reflective of the populace today.
Yeah.
So,
So will any state catch Elon Musk and or his cohorts in election rigging during the 2026 midterms? Will any state catch and bring it to light?
Yes, it takes a long time to play out in court, though. But there's the Four of Swords and the Eight of Swords. It's subtle. But the Six of Swords and the Hermit, there's an investigation. Queen of Wands, Two of Wands, which means it takes a really long time to get some sort of like indictments or some sort of something from a judge. It takes a really long time for that. But the High Priestess and the Knight of Wands, it splinters. So it doesn't just stay here, it goes elsewhere. And evidence is elsewhere or something like that too.
And mind you, they are just now potentially bringing charges against Elon Musk for what he did during the 2024 election where he was paying people to vote. Remember that? There's one state that's going after him, and I think they're like 2 seconds away from indicting him for election interference. Will he get caught in blue states? Yes, because there's something that is chronic that they are abusing that could be in some sort of a black box where there's disputing a loss and then changing something. So tabulators or whatever, because this is chronic and it shows a pattern. This is a loss, but then it's resurrected here and there's a change. So I would get like a yes, like perhaps because if you look at blue states, all blue states are not completely blue. For
Right.
instance, California, the majority of the blue is right along the coast. The further inland you go, where it's more agricultural, it's red. Okay, so
Same here in Illinois. You go south, it's red.
same thing in Washington. Along the west coast, it's blue. Go east of the Olympic Mountain, it's all red. No blue state is truly 100% blue. There's pockets and areas. But what this is showing is that you're going to be able to identify a pattern of losses and then a change. So areas where there was a person that had 85% support and all of a sudden they lose their seat to a MAGA person that had only been on a campaign trail for less than a year, there's going to be a pattern when it's analyzed, because it happens, like Johnny was saying, you're going to catch it here, then you're going to compare it to the data over there, and the data and a pattern emerges from that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean we're already seeing, in the primaries that a lot of independents and a lot of people that were Republican are switching because they don't like what's going on with the economy. It's not the Epstein files, it's not the war, it's not any of that that's getting to them. It's what it's costing them at the gas pump and at the grocery store and healthcare and everything. So I get, my card for America on the bottom. There's an abundance of people watching for it, watching to return and do what they've done with votes in the past, bullying the votes. So everybody knows that last election in 2024 was corrupt, and they're all talking about it. So I think there's a lot of people that are watching this, and when they lose an election that they should have won, it's going to cause investigations to take it to the courts, look into it, see what was switched, do some forensic analysis, and I get there could be some indictments that come out of it. So that's a yes card for me. So yeah, there's too many people watching this time.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Oil Company has been preparing to sink wells in Greenland without permission.
No. They also went over to Greenland without asking Greenland and dropped off a bunch of machinery to start drilling in Greenland, and Greenland shut them the F down because Greenland hasn't drilled since 2021 when they banned it. And these people just decided, we're just going to go do it anyways. and just went and dropped off a bunch of $60 million worth of equipment in Greenland. And Greenland had no idea that was happening. And they just shut it down. I want to say Friday or Saturday when they found out. They didn't even ask the government.
They didn't ask. They didn't ask. They just went in. That was my point. Like preparing to sink wells, they were taking the equipment over. So, will Greenland be successful at keeping them out? I didn't know they had stopped them on Friday. I missed that. But will they be successful at keeping them out?
They didn't even know it was happening, Jen. It was brought to their attention by independent media. They didn't even ask. They just went over there and said, "Yep, we're going to do this."
Well, Trump never asked to start a war either, or to bomb fishermen off the coast of Venezuela.
He didn't ask to kidnap their president and steal all their freaking money and give him to himself in an offshore account either. Now, did he?
Yes, they will. The judgment card, though, tells me that this is going to go in a loop. And so they're going to have to deal with them again. It may not even be this in particular issue, but some more annoyances is going to come their way. But I get 3 of Pentacles and 8 of Swords. The problem is they're now going to have more enemies than they started out with. First, you may have just had Greenland and the Dutch, but it's going to be more because there's a coalition and a collaboration against them now. So, because you can't just land somewhere, do what you want, and then the end. Why don't you just go to Ireland and dig up all their stuff, and then every country in the continent of Africa, and then just go in the middle of England and push a hole in the street? You can't just do those type of things. And so they're going to have more enemies than they started out with.
Hard to imagine Trump with more enemies. So what were you getting, Becca? Yes, they'll be able to
piggyback off of what Johnny was saying. The guy that's running that company has never ran an oil company before. He's a banker. He has no experience at all with oil. No regulations, what equipment needs to be, none of it. He is a banker. They will keep them out. They will keep them far, 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 far away from Greenland. What's most important is that there is an opportunity here for friends. What I think this is, I don't think they had any interest or any plan of actually drilling. I think this was all just a front to get investors to give them money, or as a way to wash money or give money a route to go to for themselves.
Or insider trading.
Insider trading, money laundering, or trying to get investors money. Because this says that Greenland keeps it far away because the ship is here. But it's an opportunity to transfer something to friends. Does that make sense? And it's not oil. So green, if you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. Thank you, Tor. Yeah, they're looking to their neighbors I'm getting here to help. It's like, yes, they will, because they collaborate with, NATO and stuff. Trump's still going to work in secret to try to rally the troops around this, but it's over money, as it always is. Foreign money, steady money. He's got business deals on the side, so it's always about money. George Santos is being investigated for insider trading on prediction markets. Speaking of insider trading, how's this going to go for George?
I heard he was being fined $35,000.
Does he have $35,000?
That's what I wondered.
George
my question is,
Katerina.
Donald Trump just came out and said, pay me $100,000 and I'll tell you what tweets I'm going to make so you can do some insider trading. So if you're going to go after Queen Latifah over there, whatever her name is, because she changed it like 8 million times, go after
Don't you
Trump
dare
too.
blaspheme Queen Latifah in my presence again.
I love Queen Latifah.
How's it going to work out? It's not. He does not have the luck of a Donald Trump to where you can just brush this off or not pay attention to it. The Ace of Pentacles and the High Priestess, that would be your insider trading there. Seven of Swords, the Five of Cups. He is going to regret this a lot because there's going to be even more fines or a bigger fine or something like that with the Six of Pentacles. You got money, you got to pay out. And it's a lot. He actually probably made a lot, at least one lump sum at one point with the Nine of Pentacles. And so you're kind of doing your own self in. But, you know, good for you. You're a gay Hispanic man who wanted to be a Republican. So this is what you get.
Katerina.
Oh, Johnny, did you hear about Byron Donalds in Florida?
Yeah, he got accused of trafficking in Florida.
Oh,
Imagine that.
no, not accused. The feds are saying that they are very, very close to an official indictment for him and some other guy.
And didn't he get accused by another Republican?
The feds are about to drop indictments on him and another one for trafficking. Byron Donalds, the Uncle Tom of freaking Uncle Tom's, that guy.
He's kind of like Clarence Thomas, you know.
He's an Uncle Tom. He is an Uncle Tom, and that term is slanderous and it's horrible. But in this case, for Byron Donalds and Clarence Thomas, it's appropriate.
Their election is on the 18th or 19th, so they haven't had their primaries yet.
So what happens to Alicia Montoya, Shaniqua, what's her
Katerina.
Katerina. He's going to get in a lot of trouble with the courts. There's a lot of money, like an abundance of it. I don't know if he was also involved with something with the media or having some sort of a show or whatever, because the moon is right in the center of it. But he's caught up in part of that ring, of a ring of people that use their positions in an institution for money and self-enrichment here. So he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's going to be in a lot of trouble, and there's an abundance.
Is the show in the past, or does it show like a financial show? Because he's on a show now.
It's right in the middle. So this is the focus of the spread because it's the middle card. I didn't know he was on a show, but
he's on a reality show for. It's like a military style show to where you have to go through military drills, and if you can last, then you go to the next round. If you can't, then you can be eliminated.
Yeah, we read on that last week.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Abigail. Well, the other thing is he was the first one to talk about Max Miller, like you're an abuser, you abuse women. Like they all know it, right? They're all in the same circle. So who would include George Santos in a circle of insider trading?
It's just like who would tell Cawthorn that we have sex parties unless they were trying to invite him, I guess. But who would, like, why are these the people you want to confide in?
Right. When there's pictures of him out there in his little pink corset, you know, why is he the one you're inviting to the sex party when he's already got problems leaked out there? You know, that, yeah, this is big time exposure on Santos because things he's done in secret. He's going to betray some other people that were in on this. So, why did you invite him in? There's all kinds of corruption. There's other people involved. it's going to lead to new indictments eventually. Probably once the Dems are back in office, right? But all kinds of exposure on people he's partnered with or made these deals with. And I'm getting there'll be some changes to finance things in the government because of it. I'm just, I'm a little concerned. I have to go back. I'm a little concerned about the midterms, rigging Texas. Okay, if we don't get Texas, are we still getting that the House and Senate will go blue in the midterms? Can we just check in on that energy? Because Elon's been having meetings with all these people. I'm surprised Trump hasn't said yet, we don't need your votes.
I think so. These are not giant majorities, though. I asked if the House would go blue, and actually went this way. The first card, 10 of Pentacles, so that's my yes, but there is conflict still, so the numbers are still close, but there is a new leader or a new speaker with the Knight or the King of Wands. So I asked, will the Senate go blue? And then I get yes, Page of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, but it's still very small, maybe 1, and then the King of Pentacles. Either 1 or tied, because that could be your JD for tiebreaker.
I get the house goes blue and there is an increase and a change in the Senate. This is for the House. Growth that is desired. This is the Senate. A change is achieved. Progress is achieved. I only did 2 and 2. Now, mind you, it doesn't matter if either one goes blue, and you can have both go blue. If leadership at the top is the one that sets the agenda and they suck, expect more of the same. I'm just going to say that. And I'm done.
Yeah. I get yes, Rustese, and they'll get to work, with new things they've already been working on. It will be tight, to Johnny's point. It'll be close, tight. But everybody's rejecting Trump. It's a sign of rejecting Trump. So yes, on both. Okay, I just had to make myself feel a little better. Where is Congressman Neil Dunn? He's been missing since June. The one that had brain surgery and was supposed to, according to Trump, die by June. Where is Congressman Neil Dunn from Florida? Is he with Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham? You know what's interesting about Mitch is that his office didn't release anything about Lindsey Graham passing, who was good friends with Mitch. It's like, if he's doing so much better and in rehab, why didn't he put out some kind of condolences over
something?
Lindsey?
His name with some hearts on it or something.
His name with some ladybugs on it.
I pulled 1 card because I figured I could stop there. The 10 of Swords is loss and ruin, devastation, or death. So I don't know, but wherever it is, he's not doing the best. Maybe he's recovering from a big loss, but that's pain and suffering there.
Ain't it funny, the same people, this guy and Mitch McConnell, that have routinely voted against people having paid vacation, or over here on paid vacation via We the People. I'm just saying. Where is he? Well, he ain't at home and he ain't on travel. He's somewhere with a huge migraine, or he's suffering or something. But I don't get that he's back in the mud. whatever it is, it's pretty serious, and there's a lot of obstacles, and he's in pain. But I don't know, maybe he's comatose somewhere. And the grim. Did you guys
Brain,
see the guy?
brain dead.
Maybe, but did you guys see? Just to switch gears and laugh. There was a guy that was dressed up as the Grim Reaper standing on top of a hospital looking inside of patients' windows, and he got arrested. I'm like, please tell me you were at Mitch McConnell's hospital. But yeah,
I get he's met up with the somewhat. He's there in image only. It's an illusion. He's not there. He's exited stage left. Could be comatose, but somebody is working for him, doing his job for him, voting for him, or anything that, like, his staff, still making money off of him. But it's an illusion. He's not there. He's not giving the go ahead to do that. Auto pin away, you assholes that don't like the auto pin when Biden used it. So what triggers Trump's downfall? Is it the Epstein files? Is it the economy? Is it election interference? Is it his health? What triggers the ultimate thing that gets Trump out? Is it his stupidity? Is JD already conspiring on the side how to get him out?
War. Someone, I don't get betrayal, but his friends that he is conflicting with, there's something in there that brings unforeseen results. So if he is continuing that little plane business that they said is up to code, then somebody might knock him out the sky or something. I don't know, but conflicts, making more enemies than he can handle. That's what does it for now.
I get when there's a change and things move forward, that you will see the investigations and the manipulation of women that were sold for affairs. Change, progress, work, manipulation, affairs, women, and money. So, and there's going to be an uptick on that as well. So I'm thinking more in lines of Epstein victims. Once there's a change and we get to see more and how it was all manipulated, besides the redactions and all that stuff, I think it's around the Epps situation. You're muted, Jenny. You're muted.
I get betrayal on the bottom. I know Johnny said he didn't get betrayal. I got the betrayal, like somebody sacrifices him, so to speak. Because I get there's secret meetings already about Trump. Like they're already talking about, how do we move on from this and looking at it differently. All the chaos and conflict he's created, that could be war also. All the stuff with the oligarchs and the children, and his desire to bring change to America and move on to a new leader. So,
Jenny, you're muted. That last
am I
part.
still muted?
You said
there's
something in leaders, and then you cut out.
Okay, there, because I'm getting like something with with the children and the Epps files and stuff, there's something that the leaders are moving on from Trump about, or that the oligarchs are moving on from Trump about.
What I don't understand, and somebody please be so kind to explain this to me like I have Down syndrome or the intelligence of Donald Trump. If you see that he is a sinking ship, if you see the national polls of how pissed off people are, not just at Trump, but at the Congress as well. Why does the Congress keep rubber stamping appointments like Todd Blanche at 4 o'clock in the morning? You see that's a sinking
Exactly.
ship.
It's like
Let it go. Cut your losses. Let it go. Save
the
your own
number one
ass.
things that Americans are in agreement are taking away some of the power from the oligarchs, making things more fair, for your average Joe Schmo, getting money out of politics, working on things to reduce inflation, getting a minimum wage, healthcare for all. Like all the money Trump has wasted on this war, he could have given healthcare to everyone.
And here's another thing. Crenshaw, the Republican with the eye patch, and several others came out just yesterday with a very nice message for American people. Stop complaining affordability and start eating ramen noodles like we used to. Excuse me, sir, there is no reason why a person in their midlife with a career should be having to live like a college dorm student because you're refusing to do your job. And it's very rich that an individual who makes 7 figures a year, their 6-figure salary on top of all the insider trading that they do, it's very rich and full of contempt to tell the constituents who have entrusted you to be the voice of the people, to tell those very same people, stop complaining and go back to eating ramen noodles.
Yeah. Quit taking us back to the Great Depression,
It's like they don't get it. They just don't. They either get it and they don't care, or they just don't get it. I don't understand it.
They
Jenny.
also don't get that in crashing the economy, we're going to have oligarchs jumping out of windows. Look at how much money Elon Musk has already lost. Yep. People are not supporting the billionaires' businesses anymore. It won't be long, I think, till we see some billionaires jumping out of windows, and not because they're pushed by Putin. So why do they, like, what's his name, Cassidy down there in Louisiana, who wasn't running again anyway, who choked up when he was voting for Todd Blanche? Why are they just afraid for their own lives? What the hell? Why do they push this agenda so hard against the average Joe Schmo when they're not living that way?
When they know that the American public is pissed, they know that you are pissed, and you spit in their eye. Pretty soon, you're going to run out of scapegoats. Pretty soon.
It is part of the agenda, and it is either you take the poison or you take the bullet. Now, you always have a choice. Just tell them no, but they also have to have some integrity to say no. And they have to support the agenda because they are pressured to do so. And that's part of their job, part of their gig, part of the thing that they're paid for. They're the mercenary for that agenda. Not just Donald Trump, but the agenda that there is. And so they have to, not have to, they walk that line. Either the poison or the bullet, but you always have a choice.
I get it's because of self-dealing. The ship and the anchor, that means something foreign that's being manipulated to deliver gifts. So APAC and other foreign lobbies, oil industries, shipping industries. In the Lennies, the 3 C cards, which is the ship, the Anchor and the Fish, those are your cards about commerce and money. You got two of them here, so you have two of the whole cluster, and they're benefiting from it, so they just continue to go along with it here, But it's like, here's I just out of an experiment, we should pass a bill if we ever get a super majority where we don't have to rely on Republicans for shit. We can and leadership that has the cojones to do it. Knock down your salary to the national federal minimum wage and start making examples of people that are insider trading. What I mean is, go to jail, do not collect $200. And when they have to live under those conditions, I guarantee you that tune will change very quickly. Very, very quickly.
And every time they're not in Congress, Mike Johnson, every time you call a break, no salary.
Yep.
No salary,
Yep.
They're all a bunch of thieves is what I get. They're in secret. They all want to be oligarchs. And they make deals and try to, bring together people that are like-minded with them. So visions of grandeur. I think they want to change America to a country that's focused on communism and who has money, who has the right to money. They look at it this way: the oligarchs should be making all our decisions. They're so much smarter than us. No, they're not.
They're not. They're a bunch of idiots with absolutely short-sighted.
Managed to make some money. Most of them stole their ideas.
And it doesn't, mind you, I am not a genius. Far from it. But if it's easy for me to see and ask, what is your end game? When you have an entire society that has no money, no health care, can't eat, can't bathe, can't house themselves, can't get to work, there is no work, and you have pushed people up against the wall. They have nothing else left to lose. What is your end game? What is the end game? Because you can sit in your ivory tower all you want, but where are you going to get the food? Because you sure as hell don't know how to grow it. You're not going to go out there and butcher your own livestock. You're not going to cook your own food. These people don't even wipe their own asses. What is your end game?
Who's going to clean your houses? Who's going to mow your yards?
And I'm not exactly intelligent, but to sit here and see where this is heading, how can you not see it too? That's what I don't understand.
Because they don't all have bunkers. Well, let's close here. Will the economy improve in 2027 when the Dems get back in power? Will and they start reeling in the presidential office? Will the economy improve? Or will it get worse? Because a lot of things that Trump has done this year won't impact us till next year. So
I heard in patches, and so in places it will, because we just had a big drop in job numbers. They said in the article, surprisingly, and I thought that's an interesting word to use, because as Becca just said, I can see where this is going. So surprisingly is kind of one of those words I think you need to Control-Alt-Delete out of your vocabulary. But the King of Pentacles economy, King of Wands leadership there, Temperance and the Tower and the Ten of Swords, no, it will not improve dramatically. It will actually keep going down, actually. But in patches, there will be places where it gets better, but overall, no. But that is because Donald Trump is still at war and not conflict. He is still at war, which affects everything underneath it. And so until you can change the one at the top, and not just J.D. Vance, but change this entire administration, it's going to continue to crash and burn, I think.
I get absolutely not. I get it's going to be so bad that even the oligarchs are going to start to feel it. And it may be because we know that they don't deal with money like we do. We have money based on what we get paid at work or what you get on your social security. We don't have imaginary money, millions and millions and millions of imaginary money sitting in a stock market that makes us wealthy. That's not how regular people are. You have what you have in your bank account, you have what you have in your savings, and that's it. This right here, if I were to advise, I would say watch your spending, cut where you can, save, 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 make no large purchases. Because this right here is really, really bad. If this is finances and this is a desire for things to do good, there's a lot of pain and suffering. So hard to get food, hard for your stocks and other assets to grow. Maybe by then the AI bubble is beginning to pop. Do you see what I'm saying? Foreclosures keep going up and up and up and up. I just saw that a mortgage company for real estate is about to go bankrupt. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't F up the economy the way that this man did and clean it up in 6 months or less than 6 months when Dems come in, because it takes time for all the damage to catch up. Do you see what I'm saying? So I would advise watch your spending, save where you can, be smart, because this is not going to get good anytime soon at all. At all, at all, at all. Resources are going to be very hard to come by.
Yeah, and I do get that the Democrats know the secrets and the lies that have been, they'll be investigating those. So all the fake numbers that we see about the economy and about unemployment rates and all that, a lot of that may start to come to light. A lot of exposure, and the oligarchs. A lot of the oligarchs are going to be fighting amongst themselves because the money's reducing down, and they're going to go after the White House. So a lot of Republicans sitting in the poorhouse. So I get it's going to change. A lot of people being very nervous about what's going on with the economy. Be patient. It will improve, but it's slow. It's very slow because they got to correct the stuff that's causing the issue.
And mind you, it took us 4 years to try to get us out of the mess that he put us in during COVID because of his mishandling. COVID was a global thing. We understand that. The way that he handled it was a disaster, and it was a global recession. It took us 4 years to barely make it out. And as much as Biden and everybody else said, the economy's doing great, the economy's doing great, the economy's doing great, most people did not see the economy doing great from paycheck to paycheck. That did not change for Americans. And what annoys me to all end is TV talking heads. The economy is great. Well, you're basing it off the stock market. You don't go to the grocery store and scan your phone, charge my stock market stocks. You pay with what you have. Do you see? It's imaginary bullshit money, and they can inflate that as much as he wants. As we've seen for these last 2 years, he's been manipulating the market incessantly. So that's not the
and,
real
and
economy.
capitalizing on it and putting it offshore because he can't get a bank account here in America.
And not just that, but exactly to my point, I just read an article the other day where it was saying that the cost of utilities, insurance, gas, food, housing, everything has gone up 27%, while wages have only grown an estimated 12%. You cannot budget your way out of this. Your paycheck is not enough. People don't go to the store and use stocks to check out at the grocery store. You don't use stocks to pay your utility bills. People don't use stocks to pay their property taxes. Do you see what I'm saying? And the mess that he is creating, we haven't even seen the full picture of the war with Iran, the supply chain disruptions, and all the other stuff that's happened with the tariffs. We're just now starting to
Yep.
see the beginnings of it. It's going to take
Well,
years for all of that to catch up.
during COVID, he messed with supply chain, right? And then next thing we knew, even when Biden first started, we had a 9% inflation rate. It took him, his whole term to get it down to 3% inflation rate. But when Biden first went in, we were at 9% inflation because of messing with the supply chains and everything.
And for them to be telling us inflation is only up 4%, my left titty, inflation is only up 4%.
You left
My
one, you
left
right
titty.
one, and Trump's two.
Yeah. Yeah, just because they're covering up the real numbers does not mean that the rest of us don't have eyes and ears and we can see it, because we're living it every single day. These people are not. Trump's first time in the grocery store was when he went on that field trip. So
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, I don't know if any of you guys are into music and watch Rick Beato. Rick Beato has over 5 million subscribers on his channel. And he did a live today, and he just had 1,000 people watching. And I just want to thank our subscribers, because every week we have over 2,000 people watching us regularly, and we appreciate that. So thank you, everyone. And I missed some super chats. Thank you, Cindy, Rose, Torp, Abigail, Yahara, and Lori for your super chats tonight. We are on Becca's channel next week, House of Lenormand. If you haven't subscribed to her, get over there and subscribe.
And one final thing for those of you that were complaining about the echoing and stuff, that's not us. As you can see, it's been all night long. So please be respectful to the host, which would be Jenny. You can scream in all caps all you want. If it bothers you, just step out. There's no reason to keep telling her to fix it. You saw them try to fix it. We had the same issue last week on Johnny's channel. Okay, so just, be mindful and be respectful. And that's all I ask. Thank you.
So you don't have to tell us when we're echoing. I can hear it that I'm echoing right now. Becca was not echoing. It keeps moving around. Earlier it was Becca that was echoing.
Mm-hmm.
So we hear it. We try to fix it. Hopefully next week, Mercury's out of retrograde and we don't have this issue again.
It's not in Mercury is not in retrograde. They're saying in the chat that no, it doesn't go into retrograde until October. But they're saying in the chat that this has been happening across a whole bunch of other readers' channels, so it appears to be perhaps a StreamYard thing. But we understand it. It's annoying to us, and especially to Jenny, who is hosting the show. We don't need to be reminded in all caps every 2 to 3 minutes that to fix the volume. You saw her. She tried. Okay, so just please be respectful is all I ask. And if it bothers you that much, then I'm sorry.
Then don't watch.
So, but thank you everybody for all the super chats to Jenny tonight. And please keep Baby Bean in your prayers and send her all the positive healing energy that you can for her to grow up.
Joe Biden too, his cancer has spread to his bones. He's still out making public appearances, but prayers help. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you next Sunday.